Good evening and welcome to the Overwatch All-Star Brawl 4 presented by Star Esports. We have another lower bracket match for you tonight between the hometown heroes of No Use for a Name, up against the might of Torbulance. This is going to be an epic battle between these two teams, both the headline teams of Friendly Orgs, of course, No Use for a Name being Star Esports' banner team, and Torbulance representing Revolution Overwatch. I am Temporal, and tonight I am joined by the magnificent Moshi Man. Moshi, welcome, and this is going to be a match for the ages.
Hey guys, hey Temporal, how's it going? Glad to be here, casting for you. Yeah, it's going to be a great match. I mean, both teams, have kind of, they've suffered a loss. That's why they're here in the lower bracket. But like, they're up in the top echelon of the competitive community here. So they're both 4-0 in open division right now, and I think we're going to see a good match.
Yeah, and of course we've said they both suffered a loss, but they suffered them at different points in the competition. And No Use lost their first match against Scion in the first match in the winners bracket, so they've been progressing through the lower bracket. They had a win to put them into this match. Torbulance the reverse, they won their first match and then they lost against Astray, which knocked them down. So they specifically are coming into this match off a loss. No Use coming in with a win. Do you feel that there's going to be maybe a different attitude, different emotional position for these teams, given that they had to win or lose coming into this match?
Well, I mean, it's going to put a lot of pressure on them, right? If they lose, like this is it. So double elimination.
That's the lower bracket for you. Every match could be your last match in this tournament, and both teams will be wanting to hold on for dear life, because no one wants to go out of the tournament. You want to make it all the way through. You make it through, 3 or 4 more wins for either of these teams, they'll end up in the grand final, and that is exactly where you want to be. The All-Star Brawl is a tournament with many high-level teams, lots of Grandmaster levels, I think probably exclusively Grandmaster level teams, I should say, and a lot of these teams are actually competing in open division, including both of these teams, who are sitting pretty on a 4-0 win-loss record right now. So they've both proved they've definitely got the chops to compete at this level. It's just a question of, for this specific match, who will come out on top.
I don't know that much about each of the teams. We're pretty early here in the competition, and so like we know that Torbulance lost to I believe
Astray.
Yeah, remind me. Yeah, Astray, and Astray had moved up from the division lower in the All-Star community, and so we know that Astray,
I believe they topped that. They've lost, I might have lost one game, but I think in a post-game interview we did, they said they just let their foot off the gas for one game and got beaten there, but otherwise they didn't lose a single match, and they were a formidable opponent. So it's not unreasonable that Torbulance lost their match in the wins bracket and ended up down here. However, I will say that No Use for a Name just played Astray in open division, and they were able to take that fight out. So, I mean, with the laws of transitive properties, No Use for a Name kind of has the advantage. Astray beat Torbulance, No Use beats Astray, well, therefore, No Use beats Torbulance. I mean, that's obviously not how the world works. That's just a bit of fun we can make up. I know they did that a bit for Owl as well. There's a big circle of every team beating every other team at one point.
Yeah, it happens, right? Like, teams' situations change, and maybe they had someone was really on their game that match, and they were gelling, and the map pool favored them strongly. So potentially they are going to have stronger and weaker maps here too, but they've definitely been practicing them. So we expect to see fairly even competition, but like you said, Torbulance lost to Astray, No Use for a Name beat Astray. So goes the property.
We'll see how it goes. Speaking of maps, of course, this has a 12 map. This tournament has a 12 map pool. Both teams at the end of each map gets chance to pick or ban depending on whether they won or lost. The winner bans the map, and then the losing team gets to pick the next map. So it gives a lot of opportunity for teams that do lose maps to pick something that they are comfortable with. You're not necessarily locked into a specific game mode as you might be in, say, the Owl style, where you've got this control, assault, hybrid, escort every time. You can mix it up. Of course, you can't play the same map type twice in a row. So, but that's something the teams will have to deal with. And just to briefly introduce the teams, we will have No Use for a Name on the left and Torbulance on the right of your screen. For the side of No Use, the starting lineup is Gartos, Storm Hornet, Tea Time, O-Jason, Micro, and Raid. And on the right, we have Torbulance, Essel, Noro, Jake of Trades, Air, Tony, and Scarm. And do you have any particular players you'd be watching out for? Any roles you will be looking out for in this match? Moshi is critical to the success of either team.
I don't know enough about the teams to really comment on that, but based on names, I feel like, Air could be playing Pharah. I honestly don't know at this point, but we'll just have to wait.
I don't think you are too far off on that. Air has shown a Pharah. Typically, there you go. You've nailed it right.
Wow, who knew?
Of course, just seeing this team in this tournament, we've seen Essel has been a really good DPS. Noro has also proven a formidable force on that main tank role. Lots of great holds, great shielding, plenty of well-placed supercharges as well to ensure the damage is there for Torbulance. On the side of No Use, we've seen a bit of flexibility come through from them. Tea Time in particular has multiple heroes, particularly in the hit scan pool they can play, but I've talked too long, and we see Torbulance rolling out with roughly meta with a Pharmacy. No Use for a Name, something a little bit different. A Pharmacy, Tracer, and Wrecking Ball. Which do you see as having the advantage at the start of this fight here?
Well, I mean, Raid honestly taking out the Pharmacy duo going down to Baptiste, and that's just gonna give them a huge advantage. And there's gonna be no way that Torbulance can push in here.
So yeah, we've been trying to talk about the DPS of No Use, but it's Raid who is the DPS king right now. Already up to 60% on that ultimate.
Seriously, that's amazing.
We see Torbulance attempting to push in here. Gartos is the first victim here. Jacob trades with the kill there, so that's the start that Torbulance would want. Micro is able to get in, get the resurrection off, thanks to that immortality field providing support. And speaking of Raid, all that damage has paid off. The amplification matrix is out already, and that has enabled 2 quick kills onto the DPS of Torbulance. Gartos with another kill, taking the Pharah duel in the sky. Tea Time goes down, and I was going to say point control firmly in the favor of No Use, but it looks like Torbulance isn't quite willing to give this up yet. Tony invests in the amplification matrix. With Noro going down, there's no protection left. No Use will continue to hold on as they push past 50% Moshi.
Yeah, looks like we got some ults coming up on Turbulence side. We're gonna have the Pharah ult and the Mercy ult. We already have dragons, but then of course there's plenty of defensive ults on the side of No Use for a Name. But
and if
Tracer, something happened.
Almost. Micro went very low there, and just think about those dragons. You can throw them out, but there's not really much. You're not really going to hit anyone from No Use, given the maneuverability this composition has. And Storm Hornet will run in, throw in the proximity mines. The shield from Noro used to take that down, but that means the protection is gone. Noro will go very low, but the support's doing a great job. Although not great enough. Tony the one going down there. Raid on the counter from the barrage from Air. But again, the kills all in the favor of No Use for a Name. 90%. I'm not sure anyone from Turbulence will even be able to touch Moshi.
Doesn't seem that way. They do have Ball, though. I think he's going to be able to get there, no problem. Whether he makes a difference, though, I don't really know. It's been just a pretty dominant performance here. But this last final push, some crazy things can happen. And yeah,
Ultimate's about Scar Raid again with the Pharmacy kill. That is an impressive play from that Baptiste. And of course, Scar was in the middle of a Valkyrie in the middle of that. Gartos' barrage will take care of Air. And unfortunately, it's too little too late. The ultimate's invested from Torbulance, not quite enough. No Use for a Name, making a stamp on this Oasis map, going up 1-0, 100% as well to 0.
Definitely a dominant performance. I mean, I feel like there was just no wedge that Turbulence could have put in that strategy. I mean, they like stuck around a little bit too long, I think, personally, on that first fight. They used the amplification matrix to try to get some value, but I personally think they should have saved it. And they would have been able to initiate the fight with that, have extreme healing and damage, and like we saw Raid doing, potentially pressuring that Far Mercy duo in the air and forcing them off the point. So here we're on the second map, though, with double shields on the side of Turbulence and a double shield. No, we have the double shield on both, but this side, the one
different kind of double shield.
Yeah,
Sigma traded out for the Reinhardt.
Sigma's too new, guys. I forget about it. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, Torbulance with the aggression here. Maybe they've learnt that taking the aggression to no use is the right approach. They lose Tony at the first, but the kills are favouring them. Storm Hornet, sneaky little backhab attempt here, won't quite do it. And now, unfortunately, that Sigma is outnumbered and will drop into the hole. But unfortunately, cut off from the rest of the team, not going to make any progress. So it has meant that Torbulance hasn't quite captured the point yet. It's given T-Time and Micro enough time to get back. Raid is there as well, so this Hanzo will be well supported. The rest of No Use coming in over the top. Storm Hornet finally clawed their way out of that hole, kills off Scarm. So the speed boost is gone for the Lucio, and at the end of that, a weird fight, but No Use for a name will get the cap and the resurrection onto Storm Hornet.
Yeah, that was a weird fight, but sometimes first fights can be that way if one team is... And we saw that kind of happen with No Use pushing really far up to the spawn. Well, almost. Not to the spawn exactly, but quite a bit up.
Yeah, amplification matrix out already. We'll see if Noro tries to Earth Shatter do anything, but it'd be fun to see as the point is immediately flipped back to Torbulance. No Use just retreating off the point long enough to make that happen. I mentioned Noro specifically there because that Earth Shadow is built up phenomenally fast. Doesn't have a chance to use it yet, and it might make No Use a bit wary as they try and come in. The Dragon's there though. Noro and everyone else able to escape from that. Gartos comes over the top. 2 kills straight off that barrage. That takes at least 1 ultimate out of the fight for Turbulence. Essel's not going to get anywhere close to that Blizzard while they're dead either. And with Raid being resurrected on the point, No Use is now in a really good position. Sand Barrier from Scarm invested just to keep the remaining members of Torbulance on the point alive. Giving Flux invested, the Supercharger goes down in midair. It slaps to the ground. Unfortunately, Jacob Trade's dying in the middle of that Supercharging going down as well.
All the charge.
Oh, there you go. See, lots of ultimates invested by both sides, but in the end, it is Turbulence who comes out on top. Somewhat surprising result considering the start of that fight.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I expected, right? We saw a pretty significant barrage there from Gatos, and it just like went downhill. Like Gatos and Mercy got value, but the rest of the team was kind of separated and got picked off, and eventually they just kind of got ground down after investing quite a bit. And we still have 2 ults from Turbulence here.
Oh, Jason almost caught out, but able to get away with their life. No, I take that. Finishes that one off. The amplification matrix out, ensuring that there's lots of damage coming through, lots of healing coming through, depending on what you're firing through that field. Torbulence taking up an interesting position. They're on the side of the point, just hiding in that room, daring No Use to come for them. And the amplification matrix goes up over the tops of their heads, so I'm not really sure what kind of benefit it will be. Though, as I say, that Ray gets a kill onto Scarm. Essel goes down as well. Earth Shatter comes out from Nora, able to take down Micro, so that's an important kill. There's no resurrection available for No Use as they take up position on the point, but the resurrection is not required. They will flip the point back as Turbulence hits 99%.
Very impressive there. That was kind of an awkward positioning on that amp matrix because, Turbulence was just sitting underneath No Use for a name, and it basically did nothing. But I think maybe that little pick they were able to push out of their little corridor because they were a bit trapped by that AoE damage. But looks like they're going to come underneath, going to give a nice rush onto the point and kind of have a defensive hold here. But Gatos is not going to allow that.
Oh, that's a 3k off the back of that. Gatos picks up the regular rocket kill onto Tony as well. All that rotation there wasted a bit of time for Torbulance, and in the end, not much to show for it.
Really, though, they didn't get very much ult charge off of that. They're still even, basically. with no use for a name. It looks like they're just going to go main this time. A little bit of miscommunication there, but they're just going to rush main on the left side from their perspective. With the Pharah still in the air, barraging that.
Yeah. You wonder if Air is able to take care of Gartos in the middle of this fight, but in the meantime, Essel will use the Blizzard to make sure the point is clear. The Valkyrie from Micro keeping everyone alive. Air trades that, Air kills Tea-Time with the Dragon, follows up onto Storm Hornet. The kills are coming through for Turbulence here. Gartos, though, still in the air, still being a nuisance, picks off Jacob Traves. But thankfully, given they're running the Reinhardt as well, Noro will still be able to maintain some shield pressure as takes a few swings at Gartos as well. The Pharah getting a little low. Overtime has been triggered now, 99 to 99. Currently, the point is in possession of No Use for a Name, so the brawl will define here who wins out this map. The charge onto Storm Hornet means that Reinhardt is broken down. Oh, the minefield is out. That's clearing off half the point there. We'll see if Turbulence is able to maintain any pressure, but I don't think it's going to happen. Gartos and O'Jason come out with kills there. The numbers clearly in the favor of the team in control of the point. Scum will go down. The Sand Barrier won't help. No Use for a Name winning out Oasis University and putting themselves up 1-0 in map score.
That was a really close last fight. I mean, they were just grinding out, and it just didn't end up working out in Turbulence's favor after holding the map for basically, 80% of the game. But this was a beautiful play here. Just great timing. Nothing Turbulence could do about that. So
no, and I guess that's emblematic of the way No Use was playing for a lot of both of those rounds. Gartos was just sitting in the air, raining in the damage, and Turbulence had nothing to counter it. I mean, you're looking at Air, you're looking at Essel. It's not as easy on those two projectile heroes to hit a Pharah like it would be on a hit scan, but those are the heroes you really want to be dealing with the Pharah. You don't want to see a Baptiste taking up the reins, because if they're shooting at the Pharah, they're not healing their team. I mean, as I say that, we saw Raid was able to take good care of Air. So, I mean,
right. I mean, that's kind of just like Raid could have easily just finished off Pharah and Mercy, right? Like they could have taken damage from something else and like whatever, right? That he just is able to deal that last little, burst of damage to burst them down, which can sometimes be the hardest part of finishing off a Pharah and a Mercy, right? Like they notice you, they start kind of kiting you, and it becomes hard to hit them. But with that hit scan hero, like Raid, that Raid was playing with Baptiste, it's just, and they can just fall out of the sky, all right? Like just like Soldier even feels worse because it's not burst fire, so that burst damage, it's kind of easy to get comfortable as far as Mercy, I think.
Maybe is a balance kind of change. You want to swap Soldier and Baptiste guns around. Give Soldier the burst damage, because, well, given the Soldier isn't played, I suppose it's obvious we're seeing a lot more, not only play time from Baptiste, we're seeing a lot more appearance in the kill feed from the Baptiste players. They're able to just finish it off. Well, I guess that's another thing there. If you've got too many DPS players in your team, just chuck them on Baptiste. Teach them how to right click once every often, and then you've got like a third killer DPS on your team.
So guys, everyone watching, now that we've seen one map, I want to urge you guys to vote for the MVP of the match. They're going to be interviewed at the end of the stream here, at the end of the matches. So vote for your player who you think is most, impactful, and the person you like the most. Who do you want to take out to Korean food later? Whatever. So, but yeah, vote in there, and maybe we can get some cool, juicy information from those players for you guys.
Yep. And if you're interested in No Use for a Name, you've seen them take out a map and thought, I want to see more of this team. Make sure you're following along on the Star Esports Twitter. That's twitter.com/Star Esports Live. And if you want to find anything else, any more information on the Overwatch All-Star Brawl, you can also plug that name into YouTube or into Twitch, and you're already on Twitch. Unless you're watching the YouTube VOD, actually, so that's a consideration. Sorry, I'll get back to plugging. Yeah, Star Esports Live is our handle across many platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. There's plenty more action to come. You'll see either one of these teams continue through the tournament. There's plenty of other fantastic teams, fantastic Overwatch action that's still to be played in this fourth Overwatch All-Star Brawl. So check out our socials to keep abreast of any pertinent information.
Don't forget about the Discord.
Oh yes, there'll be links across the board on our social platforms as well. So it's easy to, as long as you find one reference to Star Esports somewhere, you'll be able to find any other ones you wish to go for. Seeing Torbulance on the Torbulance, so I say it slower, on the attack, running out with the Reinhardt Orisa composition again.
And we see Mei here on this map, of course, right? Like, we have the ability to slow down those heroes.
And there is that Mei. Essel with the wall, forcing a reposition from No Use for a Name, forcing it out of that nice high ground position. The second high ground position they take is not as comfortable for the defending team. You get much less line of sight as the attacking team sets up on the point in front of the cart, as Torbulance has done here. And the kills are all coming through for the attacking team. Jason and Gartos down immediately. Storm Hornet won't be long for this world. Raid as well. And that'll be a lightning quick take off point A on air. Just finish up with 2 headshots on the support line, making his presence felt.
Definitely. That was just a beautiful attack there. Like, they were able to split off, right? Turbulence and force them to reposition.
Other way around. Turbulence is
Oh, did we switch sides?
No.
Okay.
Turbulence is still on the right. No Use is on the left.
Yes. They were forced off the point, and it just, like, the Mei wall, right? Just as you were saying during the play, forced them to just rotate, and then they just didn't know what to do because their plan was kind of broken. And so
I don't think they were expecting a Mei wall up there. There you go, another Mei wall. Really. Just to block off T-Time and Storm Hornet on the high ground. It's a smart play by Torbulance. They're using the Mei walls to bypass the Hanzo, and they're getting right exactly where they want to be. There you go, though. Dragon down Main Street, Kings Row, takes out Tony there. So the Baptiste, unfortunately, caught on the wrong side, away from their team. Turbulence, very coordinated. They are rolling back very fast. They will get out of that and wait for Tony to respawn.
Really, yeah. I mean, we only have a couple ults here. We saw Dragons used, but a lot of people coming up on ultimates. We've got Essel with Freeze, Noro definitely going to have that Shatter in a minute. Gatos also coming up with Freeze, but we see Turbulence with the advantage there.
Oh, T-Time getting the better of the Hanzo duel. A head straight onto air. The Blizzards come out as well. Oh, sorry, just one Blizzard, the defending Blizzard there, and that's enough to ensure that Turbulence is sent packing back to spawn again. That's not terrible, Moshi. They have 4 minutes left on the time bank and a plethora of ultimates available to them.
Seriously, they're going to be able to push fine here. As long as they use ult economy properly, they're going to be able to push all the way to the end based on, you know, how they've been fighting. They're going to have to watch out for maybe, like, Storm Hornet using Flux, but the Dragon is going to be an effective kind of tool.
The healing is there, though, to keep the members of the defense. Well, they got out of it. And now the Blizzard is coming through from Turbulence. They've trapped No Use for a Name in the corner, but the wall from Gartos is enough to keep a lot of members alive. Only the Orisa's being traded out here. There's a gravitic flux in there, I believe I heard. Yes, from Storm Hornet. It's a little bit back and forth. Noro gets frozen. Is maybe able to get away with their life? No, the Reinhardt does go down. Air is duking it out with Storm Hornet as well. It's a very back and forth fight here. On the cart, though, the numbers are solidly with the defensive team. Essel and Skarm are still there trying to harass, but they will be forced back. Both Orisa's back now, but it looks like Turbulence, will, using that wall from Essel, will try and retreat. They will get away. Jason not quite able to hunt anyone down.
Man, I was really busy watching the action there. That was pretty tight. Like, I mean, Turbulence trying to push all the way up, but, you know, we saw Hamster come back. Jason on Hamster here, and he kind of rescued everyone, right? He's just a big fat body, able to dish out some damage, and I think he coming back, you know, the spawn adventure really turned the fight around. But
Jason, unfortunately, just caught out. I don't think they wanted to be on the Wrecking Ball anyway, and unfortunately they were caught out as the Blizzard now from Gartos just trying to arrest any momentum, allow Jason to come back. Doesn't result in any kills. The Immortality Field enough to keep the members of the attack alive. Air now follows up with 2 kills. And this cart looks like it may be able to progress very easily through to the end of point B. So a brief stall there from No Use, able to keep the cart contained for a minute or two, but Turbulence now pushing into this third point. two ultimates almost online for them. Quite good position for them, I believe, Moshi.
Yeah, they've rounded this corner with their tanks, right? They're taking the space they need. Something I want to mention is we've seen a ton of dragons from both teams this fight, like 3 each. And we see that T-Time has theirs right now, and they're just using it on...
Another blizzard from Essel. That is frozen multiple members of the... Kills coming through from lots of members of Torbulance. This cart is showing no signs of stopping here, and T-Time's caught out, needs to get away, but no. So there's a little stagger on the Hanzo as well, ensuring that there's not going to be much damage coming out from the defending team here as the cart approaches the endpoint.
Gonna just have to watch out from Shatter for Nero, right? Oh, but...
Oh, no, gets stunned in the middle of the Shatter. That's really smart play there. Noro cut down, so this Earth Shatter at least denied. No more ultimates available. Skarn going down as well. That was their next closest ultimate. So no sound barrier will mean that No Use is finally able to stabilize here 4 meters from the end of point C.
A bit too close for my liking.
If you're the defense, I suppose it's where you want to be. You don't want to... I mean, ideally, you'd just stop them as soon as you can, but if you're going to have to stop them somewhere, the end is generally pretty good for a defending team. Sorry, I've talked all over you. Wow, the Supercharger and the Amplification Matrix invested by Torbulance. They want to pile on the damage right here, right now. Micro's Transcendence to counter that stops most people, keeps most people alive, but unfortunately, it doesn't last as long as the Supercharger, and the damage is still there, and it means the damage will come through for the side of Torbulance. A Dragon as well over the end of the point just to finish things off. I don't think anyone will get back. Torbulance will finish King's Row with 1:30 left in the time back. A really good offensive round for them.
Seriously, they only had like 2 points where they were, you know, hitched up. Like they were stopped by No Use for Name, right? Like right on last there, but then they easily kind of broke through that, and before the second point they had a little bit of trouble, but then it was only like one team fight and they were through. They were on to the races, and I don't know exactly what turned it around, but just the level of coordination that we're seeing between them. They're very efficient with their ults. I haven't seen a lot of support alt overlaps. You know, this is what you can expect from high ranked players like this. So let's see, right, if No Use for Name can push in such a manner nearly as coordinated. It takes a lot of work to do that. So great job from both teams, definitely.
And I feel a lot of it is down to the play, particularly of Essel. I've seen some really well-positioned walls ensuring that No Use either being split in half, or they're splitting 1 or 2 members out, or it's simply blocking off their escape, and often combined with that Blizzard as being used at really impactful times. And I'm assuming the comms on Torbulance are very good. Essel's saying, hey, I've got an opportunity to use the Blizzard. I'm going to use it now. And once it's out, Torbulance is just steamrolling through all their frozen opponents. So really good play from Essel and really good coordination from that team. We'll see if they are able to continue that on their defense.
Yeah, it's clear they practice this map, right? Like, they know the wall spot because they know where the opponent's defending. Like, they know right where to put them, and they can all just jump on it. Ooh, the rock hits Raid.
And looks like that Reinhardt Orisa composition was specifically for attack as well. They've swapped Jake of Trades back onto the Sigma. And more so, we're now seeing a mirror matchup, and it'd be a question of whether No Use is able to mirror that lightning fast offensive time from Torbulance as well. They're going for a rotation around the back. Air could be a little bit of trouble if they're spotted out and cut down here. Trying to take on 2 at the moment.
The Hanzo's kind of pressuring that hallway, right?
Away. Yeah, and especially with the support from Storm Hornet, man, Air really had to position. Those 2 heroes, the Sigma and the Hanzo, going around on the back of the high ground. Skarm's got to be very careful. Storm Hornet, saving up the equations! Skarm did not know what hit them. Used the Immortality Field to get away, but that was very sneaky play. So Sigma, no footsteps, just floating along. Skarm was caught completely unawares as the brawl now breaks out on the point that both the walls here to cut off half and half, though the kills are definitely in favor of No Use for Name. The Amplification Matrix is there as well to ensure that the damage and the healing is there for the attacking team. Storm Hornet, again, hunting down another support. Tony, though, able to get away with their life. Smart play. I No Use for Name. Great flanking.
Seriously, I mean, for a second there, they looked really split up, right? Like, we saw Storm Hornet on the back line, way up top, We saw Zen down near the Mega and the telephone booth, while the main tank and Orisa were by the black car here, and it's just like, what is going on? But Torbulance was so packed together that they were kind of just surrounded instead.
Oh, a dragon from the high ground. But the Immortality Field is there to ensure the defending team stays alive. The counter dragon is out now. That won't get anyone. No use able to effectively split up and just avoid that. The Blizzard and the Gravitic Flux, counts Blizzard from the attack, Gravitic Flux from the defense. No kills directly off the back of that, except for Jacob Trades, unfortunately, making themselves a big target, floating around in the air, and they will be cut down. Raid, that damage-dealing Baptiste finishes off Noro as well. This cart is driving a lot faster than the traffic in London probably usually drives here. I don't know if Torbulance is quite ready for it.
No, I mean, the fact that it's carrying a huge bomb is also a bit scary. But like, we saw Jack of Trades get frozen there by Gatos's Blizzard.
Ooh, it's all hiding around the corner, throws out the Blizzard, and a few members of No Use for a Name calling that the Micro, though, with the Transcendence to ensure that No Use for a Name stays alive, and off the back of that T-Times, able to get the kill onto Essel. Immortality Field is down now, and Tony going down to a headshot. Jacob Trades using that rock to good effect, making sure the squishy little Hanzo doesn't get any more done, and Air get it on action as well. And with the tank and another tank and DPS down, for No Use for a Name, a solid start to the fight will peter out here. The cart almost through point B, but Torbulance in control right now. And not willing to stop either.
Interesting use of dragons here, but it gets two.
Both!
I mean, the May was kind of trapped, but I feel like Micro kind of walked into it. But whatever. Maybe he wanted to die and be with his team. That's what I would want.
Yes, I mean,
hang out with my team.
The real victory here, even if you don't win the map, is the friends you make along the way. So, it's nice to see.
Something I think we saw on that fight right there, we saw some insane walls from Gatos, right? We saw the wall right in front of the Ant Matrix. It allowed Stormhunter to stay alive literally forever. Like, he was just there for like 20 to 30 seconds. Not that it made a huge difference in the end, but it was just kind of impressive coordination there.
As the first ultimate of this fight is unleashed by T-Times, briefly splitting Torbulance in half. The next ultimate will be Gatos, of course, the only two ultimates on the board for the moment. The Blizzard is out. Air will get a kill in the middle of that, but Micro comes over the top with a 2k. Stormhornet goes a bit far forward, but is the only one to fall from No Use for a Name so far. They are in solid control of this cart. Tony, too little the Zenyatta can do. The cart will push forward through point B and grant No Use 3.5 minutes to push through point C.
Not a bad time, right? We saw a bit of a quicker time from Torbulance, but there's been some hard fights for a name here, right? Their fights have been a little more extended. They've got, they don't have quite the same heroes as Turbulence did, but this is going to be quite a fight right here.
Yes, of course, Turbulence with the ultimate advantage fight. The Blizzard, the first cab off the rank, but Noro going down. Trades going both ways, a tank on both sides. More importantly, though, both tanks now down. Essel following up the Blizzard very well, taking out both the tanks and taking out Gatos as well. So 3k for Essel in that fight, and that was a solid effort. Only one ultimate invested, and now look at Turbulence's position, Moshi.
Seriously, they have 4 ultimates, one with a 5th one coming up online. We see similar story from No Use for a Name, but like, they don't have the damage matrix. Here comes Flux, though.
Oh, that picks up 3. We'll see them slap down as well. Tony just survives outside the Immortality Field and is able to get the Transcendence off. So the Dragon doesn't get much done. The Amplification Matrix out now as well. Forces Micro's own Transcendence. But all No Use is doing is using that to get away from the fight, unfortunately. They threw in, 4 ultimates into that fight and didn't get anything to show for it.
Both teams threw in 4 ultimates,
yeah.
right? Like, crazy.
I think that's much better for fight for Turbulence though. Out of the then again, okay, looking at the ultimates I've got left, would you favour the Supercharger over the Gravitic Flux?
No. I think Gravitic Flux has more potential to be effective, right? Like, it can break up an entire team fight, and if your team is paying attention, right, they can pick off people in the air, but
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Supercharger can potentially be just like shot by Hanzo twice and just not a deal. Not probably the story, but I think the Flux is higher.
Well, there it is. 2 kills. Storm Hornet going very low, and exactly as you described, Storm Hornet was picked off in the air, was slapped down at the end just to finish off the final 10 HP of damage. A convincing fight win for Torbulance, but then nothing invested by No Use. So I think maybe they wanted that fight to go the way it did.
Definitely. I mean, they definitely were looking there. They want to build up their ult advantage, kind of scare Torbulance, right? But Torbulance has the advantage that the cart is at this first bend, right? So I've seen teams quite often hold at this first bend like you're supposed to, but then they get an additional fight as the offense pushes into the last area, and they're able to defend. So that's what I think is going to happen.
And this could well be... Blizzard is eaten. Storm Hornet able to capture Essel's little snowball thing there. Gatos comes out with a Blizzard of their own. So, air though, over the top. 2 kills with the Dragon. And, that's unfortunate. They threw in the Blizzard and the Supercharger into that fight, but No Use for a Name not making any progress. And now, there's only 30 seconds left on the clock, and Gatos is caught out in the backline as well. This could be disastrous for No Use for a Name. They need to finish right now if they're going to stay in this map.
Seriously, that was a beautiful Dragons plus pull from Noro and Air. They coordinated that, and I just love it.
An accretion through amplify.
They're not going to make it.
It stuns you for longer, does a bit more damage. But yeah, you're right, Tony, with the celebratory transcendence, just to make sure that Torbulance can sit on the cart and pick off anyone who dares to get close. The Supercharger as well will make mincemeat of the attacking team. We're seeing the rush picks come in. Diva's on the field for once. It's nice to see you again, but unfortunately that little player will get knocked out of mech and cut down immediately. Torbulance able to win at King's Row and bring us level in the series. So I'm looking forward to what the rest of this series throws at us, Moshi.
Very much so. I mean, this is the kind of competition despite Torbulance, displaying great prowess at winning this map. It was close, right? Like, you see teams get this far and stall out, but like Torbulance was able to continue their pressure and just right at the end here, it's almost like they didn't give No Use for a Name any chances. And if they were able to do the same thing on the second point of Oasis there, like, that's what they had, right? They were winning kind of the whole map, and if they were able to use that same level of coordination, I think they could have won the first map too. But it's no use talking about the past. We have to look to the future. So great job from Torbulance.
And maybe they were just warming up on that first map, so the future does look sunny for Torbulance. I'm gonna have to remind myself to say it slower. Torbulance. So yes, No Use for a Name. We'll see where they choose to take us after Torbulance bans a map. I'm just based on what we've seen historically from these teams. I'm not really entirely sure where either one of these teams will actually take us.
I mean, based on performance, right? It seems like No Use for a Name is confident on probably attack and defense and control, and Torbulance on escort and payload kind of maps. So
I think based on the way they played Oasis as well, No Use for a Name would like to play something map where they can play a little more of that Hammond Farah combination, a little more divey, a little more maneuverable. They put it to great use, particularly on Oasis Gardens. So maybe that's where they want to take us. They can't take us straight back to Oasis, but they could take us to another control map. Lijiang Tower has a few points that are very reminiscent. Oh, sorry, not control. I said control tower, didn't I? I meant Lijiang has a few points that are very reminiscent. Okay, very reminiscent of Oasis.
Something interesting though is that last round they did ban Hanamura, but maybe if No Use for a Name knows that like Essel is awesome at May, maybe they'd want to ban Hanamura, or they maybe just have less confidence on attack defense, right? So maybe their shtick is control, and that's just where
payload maybe. Right. Last time So I'm just looking at the maps they've chosen in the past. They've chosen King's Row, Lijiang Tower, and Rialto.
Right. Yeah, Rialto, that's quite a payload map. So maybe something like that will come out from the bans from Torbulance and make No Use for a Name kind of lost for options. But, you know, I'm sure they've practiced plenty of maps. They're going to be on top of their game. And we're probably going to have another close match.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There you go. Rialto is going to be the choice. I was going to say, oh, so I know they've banned Rialto. I'm going to stop talking until we pick the map. But yeah, but I hope, I'm assuming that these teams, the level they're playing at, they've got backup plans. They'll have a list of maps in the order of, we'd like this, we'd like this, we'd like this. One gets knocked out, you just go to the next one in the list. Oh, okay, they're selecting Busan.
As predicted, a control map.
There you go. And Busan's a map we have seen some kind of weird compositions, particularly divey stuff. The mecha base, not so much, but on that outside downtown, you do tend to see some weird things coming out. You can also, it also, even if you play the standard Arisa Sigma, you can put the Hans up on the high ground. See Symmetra in some places, maybe at lower ranks. I've seen the Symmetra, but lots of choices available to them, and
right,
I guess maybe also hoping that Torbulance doesn't have anything planned for Busan.
You have that multi-level nature of both the outdoor map in the city center and the indoor mecha base map. Right on you have the right side high ground that can just shoot down, and the far and the left side, right? So plenty of airbox space even on the temple kind of style map for Farah to play around with. And lots of sightlines there on, the city center kind of area. But looks like we're going to be in the mecha base first.
Mecha base first off, with those uppy downy walls, those rising and falling walls on a automated timer, just to make things a little more confusing. I believe I have seen. I was watching this once, and there was a Reinhardt. It went for an Earth Shatter, but unfortunately, it got raised up by the wall, and it completely whiffed. So you got to watch out for your positioning when you're on the point.
That's the worst. That's the worst,
yeah,
man. I guess
it was hilarious to see that.
Yeah. While we have a little bit of time here, guys, remember to vote in the MVP poll. Now that we've seen what Torbulance can do, definitely want to maybe give them some votes. Bring out the votes for here, and or No Use for a Name, right? They're the home team here on Star Esports, so to speak. And yeah.
Yep, and of course, if you need to, you can reserve your MVP vote until you see more. This match has the potential to go the whole way. We're at 1-1. We've essentially reset the scores and now just playing a best of 3. Of course, there will be a winner on this particular map, so we're not going to end up at a draw. One team will go through onto match point, and wow, Noro is a long way ahead of the rest, making use of that Reinhardt charge.
Definitely. Both teams are kind of set up on opposite sides of the high ground. They want to take the high ground. Looks like Torbulance is going to rotate
taking the elevator.
Down. Yep, they sure have.
The elevator without an elevator, just drop. Taking the elevator shaft, Die Hard style.
Now they want to just rush the objective, but the May wall, right?
That is a solid wall coming out from Gartos. Cuts off Noro, but the rest of the team is able to make their way out. And with just like that, Torbulance will take the first control with no kills going to either team yet. And interesting, Gartos. And now there's capture progress going back the way of No Use, but still no more kills. No kills have come through yet. This is a slightly reminiscent of Goats, where you build up to some ults before anyone died. But there you go, No Use for a Name, swiftly picking up 3 eliminations. I guess we're back onto tea time, but it doesn't matter. Torbulance has been shoved off the point. No Use for a Name will capture it themselves, but after giving Torbulance 28%.
That's a little bit of time. That can definitely make a difference, right? Something.
1.5 fights.
Yeah, seriously. Something that I saw in that is, Torbulance, they wanted, you want the other team to come to you, right? And so they walked onto the point, but their shield duel was a little bit lacking, I think. Like, that was why no kills were coming out. Shields were still up this whole time. Sorry, Jake.
Gets walled off there and cut down. Okay. So Skarm and Nora getting in very deep with a couple of kills of their own. So it's back and forth, but the numbers are slightly in the favor of No Use for a Name. And even better for them, they haven't really had to invest any ultimates, and they still have the advantage here, though. Given that Jacob Trades was the first to fall here, they're going to be the first reinforcement back onto the point. The Dragon now from Tea Time had that built up after the end of the first point. Oh, Storm Hornet kills themselves. That's the Gravitic Flux off the field. There are plenty of ultimates still available for No Use for a Name. Kills going both ways. Tony, though, the amplification matrix, they're ensuring that Turbulence is able to survive on the point as they get the flip back. This is a weird map so far. There you go. Nora, yes, uses their shutter, but go ahead. Sorry.
I've always found fights on these maps this map specifically to be kind of weird when the team is fighting on the point. If the team just sits in the high ground like they are now, the fight is usually pretty clean cut. But if they fight in the middle, things get scattered. These walls, go up and down. You go in the little way to the side there underneath to kind of stay alive. Someone's on the high ground, and it just really makes it so the fight gets really scattered.
Turbulence going on a little adventure. Tea Time paying the price of that, not be expecting. There's 2 ultimates invested in just in this little corridor here. The Transcendence and the Blizzard. Just the Blizzards from both teams. The Transcendence from No Use for a Name, and in the end, it is No Use for a Name who will come up with the kills. Oh, Jason just sitting on the point saying, you know, this is mine. I don't need to be involved in this fight. I will take this point back. As Turbulence has built up to 85%, 1 fight away, but No Use for a Name, not much to work with here, Moshi.
Right, yeah, they have Raid's Amp Matrix, but look, Turbulence is coming back with 3 ults, potentially a Shatter in the middle of the fight. Those Dragons are going to split the team up. Skarm has a defensive ultimate. Tony now has Amp Matrix, and they're going to use that to initiate the fight.
And Noro going charging forward, not quite able to get anyone. Oh, Jason and Essel traded out, so a lot of the shielding gone for the side of No Use. The Sand Barrier used by Skarm just to keep the 3 members of Turbulence alive who are still on the point. But Storm Hornet with the kill onto Noro as well. Looks like it's all No Use, all point here as they build up past 90%. Turbulence now just has to rush to get back to the point, and Essel's taking the low route just to make sure they can even get there. Oh, okay, able to trigger overtime.
Barely, though. That was really close. Here comes Dragon.
Oh, and the Earth Shatters out as well. Lays down Storm Hornet. Gatos is able to use the Ice Block to escape that. And off the back of that, they're still there. Got the Blizzard available. They will throw that in. Jacob Trades, gets frozen. So does Tony. Essel's now back on the Doofus just to see if they can even contest the point. You're not going to get much done when you've got Micro Transcendencing. And that will be No Use for a Name picking up the first point here on Busan.
Man, that was quite impressive, right? We saw the 3 that Turbulence had coming back to that last fight, but it just didn't matter. The defensive positioning of No Use for a Name was solid, and only like 1 team member got taken out with that initiation. And we saw Raid again, pop his Amp Matrix, get like 2 or 3 kills, and the fight just totally fell apart for Turbulence. I mean, whether they knew it or not, it was just so quick. It's amazing how much Baptiste can. He has such good damage, and it's kind of nice.
Oh, and I like what we're seeing here. We're going for a little bit of weird on both teams. Wrecking Balls out. See a Pharmacies and a Widowmaker coming out for Tea Time as well. This is going to be a very entertaining fight.
Nice. First pick. Time taken out.
Storm Hornet just getting in there trying to... Yes, as that pick on the Essel comes through... Okay. Essel gets resurrected and annihilated again by Tea Time. Gatos with the advantage in the air as well, of course, while Skarm was going for that resurrection. No support available for the Farah. And just like that, No Use will take control of the point. Tea Time again onto Skarm.
Yeah.
And No Use will take control of the point. And they have to stand on the point. They have to stand on the point! That's right, they got it.
That happens. They get distracted, right? Like, they're trying to finish up those last members of Turbulence, and they just push forward, all gung-ho, but, like, who's standing on the point? Anyways, pretty decisive there on the first fight from No Use for a Name.
And who's going to be contesting Tea Time here? On the back in the high ground, it's going to be largely up to Essel and Air to work together just to annoy that Widowmaker as the infra site. So no use for a name. We'll know exactly where Torbulance is coming from. It's not really a surprise in this map. It's very open. Silence of Visible Jacob Trades. Just trying to embarrass T-Time a little bit. You know, I'm in a giant mech, but I'm going to slap you with one of my hands. Gartos down as well. Storm Hornet gets a kill into Essel, who's immediately resurrected. T-Time is down again. The resurrection used onto that Widowmaker. And actually, that's Jacob Trades, making sure that T-Time doesn't get anything done in these fights. Torbulance now able to fight it out on the point. They've got no Widowmaker shooting at their backline, got no Gartos in the air. They will flip the point back.
Seriously, the little pick onto Gatos there was kind of important. We saw Air kind of with his Far Mercy, with with Mercy in the Far Mercy combo, just kind of sneak up on Gatos there and take him out, you know, relieve the rest of the team from a lot of pressure. So this has been really important because Gatos seems to be dominating Air about 80% of the time.
And there's the supercharged dragon. Comes through from Essel, just moves Torbulence around a bit. Gartos over the top, gets a kill Pony, and follows up with a barrage onto Essel as well. Raid getting in there, so that's a lot of healing and a lot of tank presence gone for Torbulence. No resurrection available for Skarm this time. No use for a name. We'll flip the point back here, no matter what Air tries to do on this Pharah.
They're just trying to stall now. They want to try to match what No Use for a Name has, right? They've noticed that they're getting behind, you know, in time, and just like they're pushing back in, and now they don't have too much time to recontest here. There's two ults side of No Use for Name with just Air and his barrage on Torbulance.
And some swaps coming through from both teams. Jacob trades onto the Roadhog, who gets the kill onto Micro. So 2 kills in the favor of No Use. I mean, they maintain the numbers advantage here as the Pharmacy is forced back. Jacob trades as well. T-Time off the Widowmaker onto the Tracer, and it's making a nuisance of themselves here.
Definitely. The Tracer is going to be really able to spam that Roadhog, just get some really quick ults. I think they know that Widow is not going to be great at contesting the point in these last few moments, too.
As we go up to 98%, it's going to be all up to Air here with that barrage. See if they can get anything done with it, though. There you go. It comes out, but unfortunately, the kills are all there for No Use for a Name. T-Time with the Pulse Bomb was all Raid, picking up the entire Pharmacy. Storm Hornet with a kill into Jacob Trades, and that will be another convincing win here on Control for No Use for a Name. They go up 2-1 in this series, putting themselves on match point.
Very nice, very slick from them. I mean, we saw Raid doing a ton of work again. That dual pressure from Gatos being slightly dominant over Air, Raid able to just like shoot the Far Mercy from any angle, right? Like, it just swings fights. It's amazing.
And that's it. Yeah, and we talked about it before. You don't want your Baptiste doing the job of taking out the Pharmacy. But honestly, with the way No Use is playing, they could afford to have Raid doing the job there, and they got the job done at the end. Solid effort as well from T-Time. It's starting out on the downtown on the Widowmaker, picking up Essel twice immediately, also pick up another kill somewhere there. And then once they'd realised that Jacob Trades was onto them, swapping over to the Tracer and just being an absolute nuisance on that hero. So T-Time really showing off that flexibility we talked about at the start of the match. That was, I think, crucial in that victory on that map.
100%.
See if they're able to continue that. And, speaking of players doing well, remember to vote. Scroll down a little bit, vote for your MVP. I would like to know who the audience believes is the most valuable player, the player that has had the most impact in this game. And if it comes from the winning team, allow them to win. Or if it does come from the losing team, someone who put in 110%, almost got the job done. You know, I believe just watching a few of the other matches in this tournament, we've seen a fair few MVPs from the losing team. So
yeah,
it's
definitely.
I like that. I mean, I like seeing that from the community as well, recognizing that just because a team doesn't win doesn't mean there aren't standout players on those teams.
I would definitely agree. I mean, who would you nominate from maybe both teams to be MVP?
At the moment, I like what I've been seeing. I've mentioned T-Time, and so the DPS of No Use for a Name doing a fantastic job. We've seen T-Time, particularly with that flexibility, showing off. Gatos as well on the Mei and the. So is Gatos Mei? Yes, on the Mei and the Pharah. On the side of Turbulence, I'm partial to Jake of Trades, particularly that Wrecking Ball pick. Forced T-Time to swap. Essel as well is doing a really good job on the DPS there. And to a degree, Scarm as well has been very annoying, particularly on the Lucio. Getting a couple of resurrections as Mercy as well. So definitely contenders from both teams who we could argue that are the most valuable players today.
I definitely agree with Gatos and T-Time looking really quite strong. But I also think that the reses from, well, I mean, I would have to nominate Ray for being able to just shoot far this guy, honestly. So whether comes down to the team dynamic that they have set, or just, you know, him being really good at aiming and the air and Scarm not being completely prepared, you know, you don't know. But it's just been really impressive to see that. Maybe they just need to pressure that Baptiste a little.
Air not really dominating the air. You got to live up to your name, mate.
Well, he's the air. He's the air around the other heroes. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, that's not meant to be a burn.
If we're going for player name based puns, Jacob Trades proving they can do multiple roles as well. We've seen the Orisa, we've seen the Wrecking Ball, we've seen the Sigma from them. So proving themselves a regular Jake of all trades.
Definitely. I've actually enjoyed seeing Jake playing Sigma quite a bit. Storm Hornet also kind of being unique and taking advantage of Sigma's high damage. So seen him on the flank a couple times, pressuring some heroes and that kind of thing.
Doing so much damage and kill themselves in mecha bases.
Right, yeah. Anyways, here on Eichenwald, we have Reinhardt, Orisa, Mei, and then we have Pharah will kind of counter Mei if they're not careful, but they also have Tony who can shoot Pharah. Gatos
unsupported in the air as well. No coming out from the defending team here, just the Zenyatta Baptiste support lineup as Torbulance using that Lucio speed boost to make their way straight onto the point, giving no use from name no time to set up their defense. Jason is the first, almost the first victim of that fight. And Turbulence really making a stamp on this point. T-Time, though, has something to say about that. Able to pick off Tony, has Micro in support as well. The whole onto Micro doesn't get followed up on. And Turbulence has almost taken point A already, up to 88%. We're seeing some reinforcements come back from those for a name now. Jason back on that Wrecking Ball. And off the back of that swap, gets 3 kills in the end. And Turbulence almost captures point A in under 45 seconds, I think. But
yeah,
no can do. 2 ticks taken, though. Not a completely terrible start.
Not at all. I mean, that's quite impressive there. Sometimes this first point can be
speed.
Seriously, they're all right there, all together, all the time.
Relentless. And Jason goes and gets frozen, able to get away. Storm Hornet back on the Diva as well. So both tanks forced to swap off. It means there is no shielding available for the defending team, but they're not going to need it. Knocks both supports off the side of the map, sacrifices themselves into it. But that's what you want to see from your tank line. Self-sacrificing, putting your body on the line and getting the job done.
I was going to say that they'd want to switch here back to shield composition, but he rolled all the way back. Jason rolled all the way back with the ball to the point. I mean, we've seen the speed at which Turbulence can contest, so maybe that's not a bad idea. But to counter the ball, looks like they're swapping off the Lucio. But to counter the ball, we're going to have Jake of all trades on the Roadhog. So.
Well, there you go. The proximity mines are out in the middle of that offensive pack. Immortality fields are both there just to make sure no one dies. Jason goes in deep. Unfortunately, gets hooked in by Jacob Trades, not able to escape. Gatos getting a kill as well onto air. It's a 5v5 currently as the attacking team comes in, but I feel that they will have the advantage, especially now they've got Storm Hornet out of mech. The Blizzard is on the point as well. Micro will be forced to use the Transcendence just to keep the remaining members alive. The Barrage and Gatos not really getting much done. 1 kill there, but gets cut down in the middle of that. The Dragon from air takes out Micro. Perhaps not necessarily necessary, but you know what? It gets a kill. A kill is a kill. Raids with the Amplification Matrix as well. Not really going to do anything, particularly with the War from Essel on the way. Turbulence will take point A and get this payload started. 3 minutes 40 left in the time bank.
Not a terrible time here from Turbulence. They were definitely hitched up though, and I think, you know, we saw the weakness of kind of that high mobility comp in the defensive position. But the May was able to take advantage of that.
Jacob Trade just pulls Gartos out of the air.
Maybe we found the
Fantastic
true counter to Farah.
I believe it was a Holt hook actually. So smart play, going back to a more older composition that we saw when Orisa was first introduced. And again, Tea Time cut down the same sort of way, forces the resurrection out from Micro. At least we see Jason has swapped across to the Orisa as well, which means there's finally a shield available again for no use.
They're sticking with their high mobility comp. They do have OJ, but Storm Hornet's still on
Jason
Diva.
goes low. Micro just not able to. Oh no! Oh, Micro takes a dip into the off the bridge, but is able to Guardian Angel back up to Gartos. But while that was going on, Torbulance has been coming through with the kills. Air with the D-Mech and kill onto the Diva. And they're pushing through this cart to the end of point B. I don't know if they'll be stopped. And not only that, they've got the ultimates to spare to make sure it happens. There you go. No use for a name, not even putting up a fight there.
Again, Micro getting taken out.
Ooh, hopefully wanting to swap off.
Yeah, there was no way that they were going to be able to get back, so they just wanted to die as quickly as possible, 100%. They needed to get back to their spawn and with their team.
Oh, okay, opting out of the barrage there. Gartos sacrificing their ultimate to switch on for the May. I think a fair enough call, Moshi, in this contained venue on point C.
Definitely. We're going to have some ults coming out from both teams.
Oh, there you go. The Dragon comes out. Skarm's Transcendence is neatly there to counter that. Jacob Trades has worked their way up to a hog. Will invest it, but not really get much done. There's no use for a name. Able to hide around the corner. So no direct kills coming yet, though. As I say that, the Amplification Matrix and Supercharger are down. Damage, damage, damage coming out from the defending team here. They make great use of that Storm Hornet getting there in there on the killer feed as well with 2 kills. Oh, Jacob Trades hooking someone in to his death. And
he did save his Zenyatta though. His Zenyatta was saved.
Oh, Skarm. Oh, saved by the wall. Storm Hornet just not able to get the accretion past.
Well, that was kind of a disaster on that last corner there. But, I mean, oh, a nice rock.
Oh, Jacob Trades just keeps alive there. There you go, the Blizzard now from Veil of Essel gets killed though. The Dragon from T make sure that make on the Blizzard. A lot of frozen members of the defense, but they will get away. T-Time the only sacrifice. Micro's out of the fight though. Sorry,
Everyone's out of the fight.
I don't know why I said Micro. Nora out of the fight there.
Everyone was kind of out of the fight there. I think they went in a little staggered, maybe not expecting no use for a name to be pushed up so far. I'm not 100% sure, but they're gonna go around the long way here, avoid the spam damage. Hopefully none of them get pulled off here. Gonna try to push in one more time with their team. 2 ults on the side of no use for a name with basically just dragons, and now they're gonna use
Gravitic Flux up in the air. The Immortality air attack team will land in that and stay alive. The Blizzard over the top though. After that, great play by Gartos, waiting out the Immortality field. Fantastic combination from No Use for a Name, and off the back of 2 ults, they will hold here, and that fantastic time back from Torbulance looking a little shaky now. 1:20 left.
Yeah, it's getting a bit low. We see 3 ults coming out on their side, on the side of Torbulance, with potentially just Amp Matrix. We've seen Raid using Amp Matrix excellently pretty much every time, and it will probably be very effective. But they're going to start with the dragons. Oh, but it goes into the ground.
Oh, that's, yeah, just kited back by No Use for a Name, and that's allowed Micro to build up the Transcendence as well. So Supercharger will come out. But again, oh, T-Time just caught out. The Hanzo, okay, able to get the kill into Essel. Skarm going down as well. Micro getting the kill there. T-Time with 2 kills. So caught out in the backline, but able to assassinate both of the attacking DPS. That's harsh for Torbulance there. They had the advantage. They had a chance to go up in a 6v5, but T-Time proving to be the superior DPS on the field today.
Seriously, T-Time was positioned back over near that mega health kit, and was able to just use those arrows to take out the enemy team, of course, but like his positioning baited Torbulance into chasing him.
Oh, the Dragon. Yeah, wow, what a combination. Dragon, the whole, and the Accretion used to take out Jacob Trades there. Of course, that's taking away the Sigma, who is very close to ult. The Transcendence of Skarm, the only ultimate they've got now. Once that runs out, might potentially be lights out for Torbulance. They've got the Amplification Matrix, but the ultimates are heavily in favor of No Use for a Name. That last fight they won enabled them to build up at least 3. The Blizzard is there. Everyone will be frozen on the cart for the attacking team. Overtime will burn down. The Gravitic Flux not really needed. No Use for a Name holding Torbulance halfway through point C after a really good start to the map by the attacking team.
Seriously, we saw them stall out at the first point, but like here in this last area, I think potentially they just kind of threw it by chasing or after tea time there in the Hanzo. You know, it allowed their Zen to be taken out. It took like 2 or 3 players off the mid fight, the cart in the middle of the fight, and it just, they weren't able to pressure No Use for a Name like they were supposed to. So maybe they can full hold on the first point, but I mean, not likely based on the skill of No Use for a Name. But we're gonna see, you know, exactly what's gonna go on here. Hopefully we get a good match, and you know, never a bad thing to see a 5th map, especially on this.
You mentioned the full hold. It wouldn't be the first time Turbulence has completed a full hold in the All-Star Brawl. In their first match against Reckless, they full held.
So was it on this map? Was it on Eichenwald?
It was on Eichenwald, yes. Eichenwald 1-0, full held opponents, then capped is my notes.
All right.
So
well,
not without that point, not without merit there. And so they've done it before. They know how to do it. It's a question of whether or not they can pull it off. Of course, they are fighting for their lives here. Currently, No Use for a Name, currently on match point. So, yes, as Turbulence, everything to play for right here, right now. If they can pull off the full hold, not only will that keep them in the match, as we go into a 5th map, it will mean they've got the momentum going to that 5th map as well.
Oh, Raid getting taken out right at the beginning.
Air's had enough of Raid's antics. No, you know, I'm sick of you taking out me and my Mercy. I'm going to deal with you as soon as you come out the door. And Storm Hornet on a wild Wrecking Ball flank. I don't know if Turbulence is ready for this Wrecking Ball on the back line. They're going to force the point and uses the... There you go, gets in there and assassinates Tony with the help of Tea Time. And Skarm going down as well. The entire support line from Turbulence is gone. This full hold is not going to happen.
No, it is not.
No Use for a Name going to storm their way onto the point. All thanks to Storm Hornet.
Very much so. They just kind of picked apart Turbulence there, right? We saw, despite Raid dying, we saw Storm Hornet dive right in, quickly assassinate the Baptiste. Then we saw, I think it was Gatos take out one of the other heroes. I don't remember exactly who. Even got taken out himself.
No!
Tony.
Oh,
the map.
poor Tony. Sitting on the bridge. I think Tony escaped and was sitting on the bridge alone. Oh no, sorry, Tony went down. Irrelevant. So yes, and off the back of that, we're seeing a very, very aggressive positioning. Tea Time is now on the Widowmaker in the back line.
Yeah.
So Turbulence may set up on the top, but we saw exactly what Tea Time can do on Busan. Unfortunately, Turbulence just getting shot from back, side to side. Gartos will come up with 2 kills there. Jason get in on the action as well. And this defense, what defense I should be saying here. Turbulence just getting crushed 2 fights in a row. This cart already halfway through Port B and 4.5 minutes left in the time bank. No Use for a Name in a great position here.
Yeah, they are moving insanely quickly, you know, in part to Gatos's extreme pressure of the team. And, you know, they're having almost like a pincer kind of effect with the Widow. But this barrage gets absorbed.
Gets cut down. Storm Hornet rectifying that though with a kill onto Tony. Unfortunately, the supports from Turbulence not having the best of maps right now. Storm Hornet with another kill. Storm Hornet picks up the entire support line, takes down Essel as well. This Wrecking Ball is having a field day on Eichenwald. The point is already captured. This is going to be a monster time back. 5.5 minutes to push 3/4 of the way through point C.
Seriously. Essel is even on Mei right now. Like, Mei is fairly good at contesting Wrecking Ball, but it's just not making a difference. Storm Hornet's timing is just too strong. And Tony, Zenyatta is fairly weak to Wrecking Ball dives. Like, just kind of a low health, no shields, no movement hero. So something to be aware of.
Get the supercharger out from Noro just to provide a semblance of calm here. Storm Hornet getting aggressive in the back line. Goes down to half. Air's got them spotted out there. We'll see if the Hanzo is able to get the job done. In the meantime, the Valkyrie's out from Micro as well, just keeping the rest of No Use for a Name alive. They will be forced back. Finally, Torbulance is able to stabilize here, and effectively in the same position. No Use for.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, No Use for a Name. Turbulence finally able to stabilize here in the same position. No Use was able to stop them.
Yeah, right. They're right at this first corner. A pretty common spot for to stop. And I think that, you know, No Use for Name's going to be able to push through. They've got 2 ults on the side of Torbulance, and they're going to use one of those right now.
Bang!
Both of them right now.
Torbulance hits the ground hardest down. The dragon whips through from air as well. That doesn't get much done, but it does split up the attacking team. They will be corralled. They will be cut off. The support line teaming up to take out air. But unfortunately, it will not be enough. They will be cut down as well. Air will get back to the fight in a decent amount of time. And Turbulence has already wasted 2 minutes off the clock here. So a very good start from them. And they'll have the ultimates to work with as well coming into this next fight.
Yeah, they're going to have Ant Matrix and Freeze. Freeze is, and probably Transcendence too. They're just going to have to watch out for the high burst damage from Gatos on the Junkrat, realizing that Pharah is not that great on this last area here.
Oh, the Blizzard goes out. They're able to cut down Storm Hornet, not able to eat it. Jason uses the Fortify just to get away from that. But unfortunately, they walk straight into Tony's line of sight, who's able to cut down the rest of the kills on the side of Turbulence as well. Again, No Use for a Name will be sent back to spawn. They're on the verge of winning this match, but at the moment, it looks like it might not happen here on Eichenwald.
2:45 left on the clock. You know, we see, ooh, Tea Time taking out Air, who is pushed up pretty far. Like, there's Essel. If Essel's gonna be able to come back, because I know they just died, but they're gonna push in this fight with their 6v5 advantage. Tea Time's gonna have to, or not Tea Time, Air gonna have to walk back from spawn.
And it does force back Turbulence. They're forced to defend on this last corner, and that will be a prime opportunity for Tea Time to drag. They can split it up. The Transcendence, oh, the Riptide is not going to save you. Sorry, is not going to be blocked by a Transcendence. Though in the middle of that, Jacob Trades was able to get a kill. And Air getting a kill as well means this attack will be shut down. So it looked like a good start. Oh, I'm okay with that as the defending team. You're still waiting for... Oh, a trade. Okay, yeah, definitely okay with that as the defending team. And Air, of course, has a dragon, which you could realistically use from spawn if you had to.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're too desperate right now. Heart's going to start moving back here, yep, any second. And I think Turbulence, you know, has them right where they want them, outside of the hallway, you know, just kind of poking, wasting time. But there are quite a few ults on the side of No Name.
Gatos onto the maze. Well, Air does unleash that dragon, and Raid is the victim. That Micro goes very low as well, but is able to get away. Holds onto the Transcendence as well. Good job on that Zenyatta, not panic ulting just to stay alive.
Yeah,
again,
that's really important. The trigger finger.
Yeah, again though, this defense is very solid for the Turbulence. Maybe they were just... Maybe they were just giving up the rest of the map, saying, you know what, we're going to put all our eggs in one basket, and so far it's paying off for them. Only a minute left for No Use. Turbulence could well keep themselves in this match with an amazing defense here on point C.
Yeah, they've been really consistent at rotating their ult in spite of, I mean, there's going to be 3 ults coming up from No Use for a Name. Probably in this next fight, we're going to see them Storm with Ant Matrix, probably the only additional ult outside of Freeze. Here comes the Freeze, though, to kind of...
There you go, the Blizzard's out again. Storm Hornet again caught in it, but this time Gatos was ready, able to get the wall up to keep the Sigma alive and keep the entire team alive, really. It's still a 6v6 in this fight. The Immortality Field's the only victims. Amplification Matrix out from Turbulence as well. It's blocked by another great wall from Gatos. A really Really smart play from this Mei with that wall placement, ensuring that they're not going to suffer anything from Torbulance's ultimates. Yeah, the Flux is out, you're right, the Dragon's out as well. T-Time comes up with 2 in the middle of this fight. Essel down as well. No use for a name. Finally getting it together in overtime. The kills are coming through from them. Noro just trying to stall it out on the card here, but they're going to get cut down, stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Blizzard and the Supercharger. Tony coming in, the Transcendence runs out. Unfortunately, forced to use that just to make it back to the cart. No use for a name. We'll push this cart through. Essel's back on the Doomfist. Is there any heroics available? No, they will be cut down. And no use for a name, sorry. Able to push it right through to the end. They will win Eichenwald, and they will win this match. Moving on in the competition. Unfortunately for Turbulence, they will be going home today, but a valiant effort here. Essentially, a 5-minute hold on points C. That was something to take out of this match.
Yeah, like despite no use for a name coming all the way through, right? That was close. Like that would have been close. We could have seen a fourth there. So, guys, don't forget to vote for the MVP so we can interview them. It'll be in just a couple minutes. We're going to talk a little bit.
Once you've voted for your MVP, make sure you click the follow button, click subscribe on Twitch if you've got subscriptions available to you. Otherwise, just follow us on Twitter, join the Discord, watch the VOD again on YouTube. It was, I'm going to be watching that defense again. That was a masterclass in defense on Eichenwald there. I'll look for the little tips and tricks that they use just to get through each and every fight, 5 or 6 fights there. But we will. Yeah. I said, just talking about this, so I feel like I'm going to keep talking about that defense from Turbulence, but from the side of No Use, I particularly like that change from Gartos at the end. We're doing all right on the Drunker, but that switch to Mei, I feel, really turned the tide of the fight at the end. 2 really well-placed walls, one to block off the Blizzard, and the other one to make sure the amplification matrix didn't get any work done, really negated Turbulence's advantage at the end there. It's pretty much what allowed them to push through.
It gave them a huge advantage in that fight, right? They were able to extend the fight despite the time bank running down and build more ult charge, right? The Mei wall is something that can warp any map, right? It's one of the most significant tools in a team's arsenal. Like, it can block off choke points, it can separate entire teams, blocks entire ults, right? There's a reason they keep lowering the health of the wall, of the ice itself. It's like, it just doesn't die quickly enough, and that, that's fine, but it can make such a huge impact, and we saw that consistently through each game in this entire match, right? We saw flux or amplification matrices constantly being blocked by walls, teams constantly being split by it, forced to rotate positions. Man, I do think that the slowdown of Mei's primary fire has made it harder for her to contest Wrecking Ball, though. We saw Storm Hornet being insane on Wrecking Ball. That offense.
Was just beautiful to watch. Just
always diving the back line, right? So, wonderful.
Yeah. And yeah, I want to heap the praise onto Storm Hornet there. Fantastic work on the Wrecking Ball. Really carried those first 2 points. And I just love the way that No Use broke down that first point hold from Turbulence. They waited their time, they got the Wrecking Ball around the back. No one on the defending team saw it coming, and as soon as they launched in, the rest of No Use was able to jump on, make advantage of the disruption caused by the Wrecking Ball, and that's really what broke it open for them. We saw, of course, the follow up even on their defense. We saw Storm Hornet taking out both the supports from Turbulence as a part of Turbulence's first push, which was almost successful. They got 88% of the way there, but thanks to the quick changes from Storm Hornet coming back and Jason as well. I should now think of it, they may have been swapped on that defense, but that's not important. The Wrecking Ball did the job, which is what I really like to see. In addition, we saw T-Time showing their flexibility. They've shown it off previously in this tournament, and they showed again here how good they are. They swapped to the Widowmaker. They were fantastic on the Hanzo. Swapped to the Tracer as well. I really like what we saw from that player.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, great players all around. We saw both Zenyatta's, right, when I think Micro and Tony were on Zenyatta. We saw their damage orbs on the right people all the time, right? Like try to assassinate the hamster as he rolls through, get that damage orb on him. I'm just trying to think of other good things we see from supports and healers. Raids, I believe Raid was the one who was playing Lucio most of the time.
Baptiste.
Okay,
Micro was the Mercy / Lucio player.
Okay, so it was Micro then. Anyways, Micro really good at speed boost. I mean, and same on from I believe it was Skarm playing Lucio, right?
Yes, correct.
Their speed boosts were just really good. We saw Torbulance being grouped up almost all the time, and that just makes it so easy for Lucio to just be like, okay, let's speed in, speed him down, swing that hammer, shatter. You have shatter. So like,
interestingly played by both teams. Yeah, Torbulance opting for a bit more Lucio as well. I mean, I did like what they did on that. You know what? We'll talk about that later. I'd like to welcome Raid to the chat. Congratulations on firstly, on winning the match, keeping your hopes alive in this tournament. Secondly, on being voted the most valuable player. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling a lot better. Because coming into that one map, it felt a little bad. Considering we Kings Row we're normally pretty good at, we kind of fell off there, but we started to get our stride back, and so luckily we were able to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Was there I noticed that. So when you came off Kings Row and you picked a Busan, was there a particular strategy you're looking for? In picking a control map? Is it specifically Busan you were looking for, or is it just you're happy with any control map?
We were pretty much happy with any control map. We really liked Busan and Lijiang there, because we were thinking that if we forced control, they would most likely run a Pharah, and we knew that both T-Time and I would be able to kind of focus them out so that they would be down at least 1 or 2 every fight. So that's kind of what we went.
Well, I definitely saw that. I believe I saw you pick up the entire pharmacy duo multiple times over the course of that match.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Are you a DPS player that's been forced onto support by any chance?
I've mained a whole bunch of different things, but DPS and support I do go back. Yeah.
All right, so you have the base aim training to be able to use that hit scan to your advantage. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, would you say that you were like the team morale coming off of Kings Row was like surprised, or did you feel like you were consistently down on each map, or like it looked like a pretty close match from the spectator's point here, but would you say you felt confident throughout pretty much every game in the match?
So because we played an OD match just earlier, and we had a scrim before that, so we were all coming to this a little bit tired. And we didn't have a warm-up right before this game, meaning that we came into this just like completely cold. So we were feeling pretty confident coming off of the OG match, but that kind of loss in Kings Row was a little bit of a shocker to all of us. But I think that's what pushed us to win the next 2 maps.
That's great. Yeah, that's the positive attitude that will carry you through those kind of losses. You just rally, right? And
exactly
bring it back. So
yeah, and Iconvolt as well was a very strange map. You had that lightning fast first 2 point takes, and then it took you 5.5 minutes to break through on point C. How did it? Did they by the end of that, were you getting 4 minutes in and going, geez, we're just beating our head against the walls? And I guess what inspired the swap from Gatos in particular on the Junkrat back over to the Mei?
Because we realized that we kept getting walled off, and that was one of the main issues of why we were losing. And then we figured out, why don't we just wall them off, pull what they're pulling, and then since they're winning, why don't we just use what they're doing and win?
You brought a Mei to a Mei versus Mei.
Exactly.
Exactly. So looking ahead, of course you'll be continuing on in this competition, and you've got Open Division coming up, so you've got a busy schedule. I don't know where I'm going with this. How are you feeling going into next match? Playing? Actually, I don't suppose you would have been watching the match earlier, would you?
Oh yeah, I was definitely watching the match earlier between
so
What's Your Peak and
playing,
Celtic.
And Celtic Cross. Yep. How are you feeling going into your next match?
I've been trying to watch as many matches as I can. I'm seeing What's Your Peak is really good on control. And that's where we shine as well. So we'll have to see who comes out on top
Oh.
there. Regardless, I know it's going to be a great match, but I think our team's pretty confident.
Do you
Yeah,
think your
you
peak
guys
is
seem
more than
great.
their peak?
See, I don't know about that one, but I know that control we have control over, so they might have to fight us in that one.
Very good. Any more questions from you, Moshi?
Then, since they're winning, why don't we just...
Nothing off the top of my head. I just want to again congratulate you on the win, and best of luck going forward in the tournament and in Open Division.
All right, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So Raid and the rest of No Use for a Name carrying the Star Esports banner held high, fluttering in the wind, representing all across the board. So, yeah, do you have any further comments on the match as a whole, Oshiman?
Well, I mean, it was a joy to watch. Based on what Raid said, I felt like it was closer than kind of what Raid was saying. You know, he said he was surprised. I would not disagree, but based on what we saw from, you know, like the quick attack from Torbulance on pretty much both Kings Row and on Eichenwald, it's just like
It was
they were there. They showed up, like, definitely. And in the end, it was just No Use for a Name had that extra skill, and I think the DPS made a big difference in the match. I feel like we've all concurred on that.
And the edge on control, Raid exactly said it right there. They've got control of control, and it showed in the scoreline there. 2-2-0s. Yes, Turbulence was able to make some capture progress on both of those rounds, but in the end, if you've got a game mode that perhaps is your weakness, or the other team is just really strong at it, you're going to struggle. Yes, of course, you can ban all the maps there, but that might be a bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Well, there you go. Future teams take note. Ban control. In any case, I guess we'll take us out. Don't forget to make sure you are following us on YouTube, following us on Twitch, following us on Twitter. There's also the Discord as well. You can join to keep up with anything and everything All-Star Brawl and No Use for a Name. It's been a pleasure casting for you today and casting with you, Moshi Man. I've enjoyed all of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the two teams we saw win today, how they match up going forward, and also all the other teams that we have playing today. So on behalf of myself and Moshi Man, I'd like to say thank you all for joining. You've seen No Use for a Name take down Torbulance 3-1. And don't forget to stay tuned for more All-Star Brawl action in the coming days and weeks. Thank you all and good night.